and had to bail out of the lap. So George Russell not able to really cope with these conditions at the moment. He looked cut, and there's a yellow in sector. Perez. Oh no! Sergio Perez has brought out the yellow flag at turn number 8, and it's a red flag. Sergio Perez, the driver we've mentioned, whose seat is at risk, is the most under-pressure driver on this grid as it stands, and he has had the worst possible scenario. The medical car is deployed and he is off at turn 8 in this Q1 session, and no doubt Sergio Perez is going to end up out of Q1 once again, and surely his seat is at risk. Surely he is out of that Red Bull seat come the summer break, because this is just unacceptable for a driver who is in one of, if not the fastest car on the grid. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. F in the chat for Sergio Perez, please. F in the chat, because how can you physically just defend this? How can you defend this? You can't defend this. This is unbelievable. And, oh, he's proper binned it as well. Sergio has proper binned it. The car is smoking, the engine's smoking, the rear is ruined. He has proper lost it. And Christian Horner, they pan to Christian Horner, and Christian's just gone, that is your drive, over and done with. I can't believe it. I genuinely cannot believe it. His head is dipped in shame. He says, I'm okay. Well, your seat's not okay, Sergio. Your seat is not okay, because that is going to be filled by either an Australian or a New Zealander, that is for sure. It should be filled by a Japanese driver, but I don't think it's going to be. So let's have a look. Sergio Perez through the chicane. This is okay, but where we saw George Russell lose control of the car, and he gets on the curb. Oh, so he gets on the curb on entry, on the outside, and the rear just goes round him as he's on throttle, and that is just unacceptable. It's still, while there's a dry line forming, the curbs, the painted line is still wet, and that is just unacceptable of a driver of Sergio Perez's experience. Unbelievable. Would RB? I don't think, Adrian, Sergio Perez is even going to be in that RBC. I think they're going to get rid of him. I think Daniel Ricciardo, I think Liam Lawson's coming in regardless. It depends on what seat he's going to end up in. That's going to be either the RB car or the main team alongside Max Verstappen. But I personally think Sergio Perez is out of that Red Bull seat and out of Red Bull entirely, and he will have to look for a seat for the remainder of. Well, he might be fortunate that Williams might take that opportunity and transfer him in for Logan Sargent, or he's going to have to sit out for next year. But I think that right there is just now in the coffin. Now in the coffin for him. So, unbelievable. Perez just destroyed the Red Bull rocket everyone was hyped about. Yeah. I don't feel bad for Checo at all. I don't feel bad for him, because it's all of his own doing. He hasn't got anyone else to blame but himself. You could feel sorry for him if the car was not performing and he was crashing because of the mechanical issues with the car. It's all because he hasn't been up to par. And Martin Brundle is saying, I feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him whatsoever. Use your experience. Don't drive over the bloody wet curb. Simple as. You cannot feel sorry for a driver who's this is all his own doing. Sorry. That's just me. I'm harsh, but this is supposed to be the premier series of motorsport. We want the best drivers in F1, and Perez is currently not suitable and fast enough and good enough to be in that Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. Simple. Simple. Oh, I'm raging. I'm raging at Sergio. I'm raging at him. But he'll still be in F1. He might not be on the grid for the rest of the year, but he'll still be in F1 because he brings so much money. And a team like Williams would love the money that Sergio brings. And he'll probably do well in a Williams because he'll be able to drag an underperforming car. Like, he's better in a team, in an underdog team. That's where he's better, where he can go back to managing the tyres and trying to do things on strategy. rather than be in a top team and try and get the pace out of it, because he's just not there. He's just not there. So, size to Red Bull? No. We mentioned this earlier. Not while Max Verstappen is there. Their two dads seriously cannot get on. The parents cannot get on. How much time to Q2? Who knows, Boldo? Who knows? Because unlike practice sessions, they pause the time for a red flag in qualifying. So, yeah, they're going to be repairing that barrier and making sure it's secure. But yeah, that is just a pure driver error from Sergio Perez, and I cannot believe it's him when he's so under pressure. But that's what drivers do. That's what some drivers do. Some people in sports, in any sport, they rise to the pressure. They love the pressure. Some of them don't. Some people fold underneath it, and quite evidently Sergio does. So, meanwhile, Horner grabs the paper shredder ready for the contract. Yeah.